Chicago Public Schools correspondence provided to the Associated Press shows that the nation's third-largest school district gave a former Roman Catholic priest access to its schools for months despite knowing he was forced to leave the priesthood for sexually abusing a boy of 6 when he was around 15, only after the victim and the AP asked why the district let former cleric Bruce Wellams enter schools as part of alternative schooling programs he oversees, did the district recently ban him. Eric Johnson was sexually abused by former priest Bruce Wellams as a child and was surprised when he saw photographs posted online of Wellams at Chicago Public Schools functions last year. He wrote in a March 22, 2018, letter to District CEO Janice Jackson, describing how he was sexually abused by Wellams and urging CPS to ban Wellams from all schools. Tae Kyun Kim, the Associated Press file photo, criticism that the district hasn't done enough to protect 370,000 students at nearly 650 schools from sexual misconduct intensified after a June 8 article in the Chicago Tribune, which reported CPS didn't adequately vet its own employees and cited scores of alleged cases of sexual abuse by staffers. Illinois lawmakers held hearings on the issue this week. Wellams, 61, isn't on the district's staff, but he has worked with CPS as executive director of the nonprofit Peace and Education Coalition, which runs CPS-sanctioned alternative schools at CPS properties for at-risk kids, including the Peace. The AP reported last year that Wellams has remained executive director even after leaving the priesthood over the abuse. CPS spokeswoman Emily Bolton said in a statement to the AP Thursday that, in addition to the new ban on Wellams, the district was now doing a full review to determine if an ongoing relationship with the coalition remains appropriate. Wellams victim, Eric Johnson, now 53, contacted CPS when he saw photos online of Wellams at district schools. He wrote a March 22 letter to District CEO Janice Jackson, describing how he was sexually abused by Wellams more than a dozen times over a year starting in 1973 when they were neighbors in Albuquerque, NM. Johnson was in the 2nd grade and Wellams in high school. "I never will forget the horror," Johnson wrote. He said his concern was for the school children. "I don't want anyone else to go through what I have gone through." Johnson provided all his correspondence with CPS to the AP. Article continued below. Wellams admitted to the AP in emails and in a 2014 interview that he had inappropriately touched Johnson and described it as abuse. He said it happened twice, and he said he never again abused a child. Wellams has not returned multiple messages seeking comment over several days. Sister Angela Kolachinsky, who answered at a phone number for the coalition, declined to speak about Wellams' role with the coalition. "We aren't interested in talking about those things," she said. An April 12 response to Johnson's letter from CPS Deputy General Counsel James Chesel, who said he was responding on Jackson's behalf, did not heed Johnson's call at the time for a full ban on Wellams, saying only that CPS would restrict and closely monitor his contact with CPS students. Johnson was first informed in a letter he received early this month that CPS had reconsidered. The AP first sought comment from CPS on May 2 and repeated its request over several weeks but did not receive any comment. Bolton, the CPS spokeswoman, said in her Thursday statement that the April 12 letter to Johnson was improperly sent on behalf of Jackson and that Jackson did not review or authorize the policy represented in the letter. Wellams was a popular, high-profile priest when he served in the 1990s and 2000s at Holy Cross Immaculate Heart of Mary in the poor, heavily Latino back of the yards, often praised for programs to help teenagers stay out of street gangs. He retained some support, including through a website, www.isupportbrucewellams.com. Backers say he shouldn't be ostracized for something that happened so long ago. Wellams belonged to the Claretians Roman Catholic order and resigned from the priesthood early last year. It was one of Johnson's conditions to settle a lawsuit against the order for $25,000 US. A letter on the ban was hand-delivered to Willems, said Bolton. And all principals were notified that they must not permit Willems on school property.